What bike should I buy? I've been asked that many times. I guess I look old enough and knowledgeable enough, but looks are deceiving. I don't know that much. I know a little bit about bikes, but then a little knowledge can be a very dangerous thing. However, here's my take. Buy the bike that fits you well, that you feel comfortable on, and when you get on it, you feel like, oh yeah, I can take this bike and go to Timbuktu and back, or Nepal and back. Don't get a bike where you have to like think, okay, I can fix this, I can fix this, I can fix this. There's always a little bit of adjustment on every bike. That's the way it is. However, if you can get a bike where you are already comfortable on, then a little bit of adjustment on it would be great. And don't get into the hype of marketing, okay? Just like you guys, I also watched a lot of YouTube videos. I bought and sold many bikes over my riding so far. This is my latest bike. This is a brand new bike, the F900 GS. And just like you guys, I've watched a lot of YouTube videos on the bike, on this bike, and the other bikes that I considered. But don't get into that hype, because a lot of these YouTubers are sponsored by people. And I realized that a few years ago when I used to, I just like you, I follow a lot of people, right? And then this one guy that I really thought was maybe the guru of motorcycles, right? And he did a whole comparison about motorcycle boots. I'm not going to take any names because it's not right. However, he did this whole comparison about boots, and it made a lot of sense. And he was like, oh yeah, this is the best off-ride, like riding boots. And you know, it's strong. He gave all the reasons why. And there was one boot right next to it where he showed as to why this one was better than this one. And it made sense. Like it was common sense. You could see it. And then I think about a month or 2 months later, I saw the same guy promoting the boot that was right next to this one. Okay, and he says, oh, I've owned this boot like for many, many years, and I've ridden it. And so in my, and you can see it on other YouTubers also. The moment they start getting somebody to promote them, then they are, oh yeah, this is it. And I would do the same. You guys would do the same too. I'm saying, if BMW today gave me and said, hey, here's $100,000 and go to ride to Nepal and come back with this bike here, I'll be singing praises of this bike all the way to Nepal, all the way to the Everest and right back. So even if there's a problem in the mountains, I'd be like, oh man, BMW service is like beautiful. They helicoptered in a service guy with the part, and they fixed the bike in 2 hours and less, and I was on the road again, climbing up Tibet in no time. So that's the nature of things, okay? Do your research. That's very important. Test ride bikes. And don't get into a hype of, oh, this one has X amount of horsepower, or this one has this much torque or that much torque. In reality, and that is my personal opinion, you guys might disagree with me, in reality, what is the big difference between 90 horsepower or 110 horsepower? In my opinion, it's nothing. When I ride a bike, is it good enough to do what I want it to do? That is what I look at. What torque it has, what horsepower it has, what other specs it has, like all the technical stuff, I don't even understand it, to be honest with you. And it doesn't even really matter to me. Does it feel good? That's what matters to me. And I think it should be the same for you guys. Does it, like, I'm not going to be riding this to Dakar, the rally, or to a Grand Prix, or whatever the races they have. I'm going to ride it for fun on the road and off-road. And in my mind, am I comfortable taking this bike off-road? And am I comfortable taking this bike if I wanted to do a long ride from here to, let's say, actually I have planned a ride already now from here to Dakar, in fact. I'm in Portugal, and you could actually ride from here to Morocco, through Morocco, Mauritania, to the city of Dakar in Senegal. And I checked it out, it looked like a beautiful ride, so I planned that out. So now, am I comfortable taking this bike all the way there? Yes, I am. I have to check the logistics of it. I know up to Morocco everything is good. Mauritania, I don't know, I'll have to check it out. But would I do it? Yes. Would I do it from here to Nepal? Yes, I would. The other main consideration is that what kind of riding do you do, right? Are you in a place where there's a lot of road riding, there's a lot of highway riding, or there's a lot of off-road riding, and what percentage are you looking at? And in my example, for example, when I was living in California and I was in San Diego, I've lived in San Diego as well as in Los Angeles, on both those cities, you really couldn't get out of the city without getting onto a major highway. And you had to ride the highway for some time before you got to a point where you could veer off the major highway and get into the smaller roads and do some mountain riding and all that, right? So you needed a bike. Like you couldn't get, like I would have been very uncomfortable on a CRF 300L, for example, on the highways, up to the point of the mountains. And then in the mountains, it would have been great, actually. In Portugal here, you don't need to go on the main highways here. They're really good highways here, by the way. They've been built really well. They're very beautiful because they go through beautiful countryside. I'll take you on a ride with me on this bike when I have it. But here, there's a lot of off-road that is beautiful off-road. And I've decided over here that I'll do way more off-road than what I did in the United States. So here it is smaller roads and off-road, and a bike like this would be good for that, in my opinion, right? Maybe even a smaller bike would have been good for that. I would do some highway riding, but however, if I went out, for example, all the way from here to the Algarve on the old, there's a Route 66, the equivalent of Route 66 in Portugal, and I plan to do that. So from here all the way to the Algarve, you can do that, but on coming back, I'm saying I'll do it one way on the old route, but coming back, I might want to get onto the major highway to get back faster, right? Once you've done it one way, then the other way, you want to get it done faster. So in my opinion, a bike like this would be perfect for you. This is good on the highway too. There's nothing wrong with it. So you have to decide on that as to, okay, what kind of riding do you plan on doing? What is the percentage, right? Is it more off-road? It is less off-road? That should be a factor in your decision making when you choose a bike. But again, in my opinion, get a bike that you feel comfortable on. Don't get into the hype, don't get into the Tenere is the best bike in the world. Go test ride a Tenere. Test ride this bike, test ride other bikes. And I might find this bike really comfortable, and maybe you won't. Everybody is different, everybody's height is different, your weight is different. My arms are different, my legs are different. I'm 34-inch inseam, I'm 6'1". I sit on this bike, I find it comfortable. I've sat on other bikes like the Royal Enfield Himalayan. I like that bike, but I just, I was sitting like, I don't know, it wasn't fitting me well. So I think take your own decision. Don't get caught into the hype of things, that you have to get this or get that. Don't. I've learned that the hard way, and I hope this video helps somebody out there with their decision-making process.